Okay, so today what I want to talk about is a speech that really inspired me, that made me feel, a very visceral emotion, and I thought to share that with everybody who might not have seen it. It's a recent Hall of Fame speech. That's why I have, my tank top on and my golf hat, because we're talking about basketball. That's just me making up for feeling insecure about wearing a tank top right now and a hat that says Pines. But back to the topic at point. It is a Hall of Fame speech by a man by the name Dwyane Wade. And if you watch sports at all or watch basketball at all, Hall of Fame name, you probably know who it is, especially if you're around my age, you grew up with this guy. He had an illustrious career over with the Miami Heat, won an NBA championship, achieved a lot of accolades, and hence why he's in the Hall of Fame or going to the Hall of Fame is he's considered one of the greatest players of all time. Now don't come at me, all the people who are like, oh, he said he's top 5. Okay, we're not going into the semantics of it, we're just acknowledging that. If you're in the Hall of Fame, any professional sports organization, you're one of the best to ever do it. It's kind of the whole point of it. But regardless, so I kind of wanted to go through his speech, his acceptance speech, and in particular a short 2.5-minute clip where he's giving all the thanks in the world to his father. I think there's a lot of very special things to come out of this, and I wanted to essentially run through it with you guys and hopefully kind of share an emotion together in terms of something that just hopefully makes you feel good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and settle this up. You see my coffee nice and exposed. Oh, hey. Hey, guys. And I think you guys can see what I'm seeing now. My YouTube channel right here. And here's the video of the title. Or here's the video of the title. That makes sense. Here's the title of the video. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. But Dwyane Wade, essentially, kind of how it reads. Dwyane Wade brings his dad on the stage to end speech. We're in the Hall of Fame, dog. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play it. And then we can kind of, stop and go as it happens.
Pops, would you please stand? I started this off thanking you, and I want to end it the same way. I owe you a debt of gratitude that I'll never be able to repay. When I would cry and say I can't, you made me go harder.
You're probably like, why the hell is he stopping this already? This is annoying. But essentially, where I want to go with this. The initial just look the two give each other. You look at the dad, and then you look at Dwyane Wade, and you see the utmost respect given to one another. I mean, that look right there is a look of gratitude towards one another. And I know there was a lot more to this speech, and, this is 2.5 minutes of a 30-minute clip. You typically always hear about people wanting validation in some way or another, especially for the hard work in which they put in. And I think what's so magnificent about this speech, it's not a unique speech in this regard, but it's, I think, not as emphasized as much as it should be. It's the recognition of others who helped get you to that spot of achievement. Anytime you hear about a great speech or something that moves and inspires people, it's typically not a story about themselves or somebody gassing up themselves. We see it all the time where people go ahead and divert their winnings or their emotions, their feelings towards somebody else. In this case, it's Dwyane Wade's father, and that's what he brought up first when you see this clip. It's recognizing those who got you there as being the integral factors and the reason in which you were able to achieve that goal. I think that moves a lot of people, and especially your viewers or who you're trying to reach. If you are building up a base of the people around you and making sure you recognize the people around you and understanding that it's a collective effort to get wherever you want to go, it resonates with the people listening to you more than, man, I worked so hard, or man, I did this, I did that. Because everybody knows why you're there. They don't know what got you there. Back at it.
You pushed me to limits that I didn't know were inside of me. The hard work I put in was because I didn't want to let you down. Those countless hours in the backyard, we would compete against each other like strangers, it built me to last. Those days that turned into late nights of me working on my left hand, so it was just as good as my right, it made me an unstoppable force. That time you got kicked out of the game as my coach and snuck back in the side door and coached me from the stands just to get kicked out again, it showed me that there was no limitations on how you would show up for me.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. One, for copyright restrictions, and then two, because it's a good point to bring up. I think what he does really special here as well is, once again, emphasizing the people who got him there, and then he backs it up with a story. A lot of people, I think, would give a story about their hard work or something that, they did to achieve that. Instead, he brought up a testimony of, once again, somebody who got him there. I think everybody watching this, both you and I, can realize that that feels a lot more impactful to me or you, the viewer, than hearing Dwyane Wade talk about one of his crazy workouts or whatnot. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for that, but I think when it's time to give recognition and it's time to actually cement and look back on those moments that got you there and soak it in, the fact that he chose to divert to somebody else and a story about somebody else still involving him, it's extremely powerful, and it shows the humble nature of the person. Back at it again.
It's the exact same way I try to show up for my kids. So even though I hated being called Little Dwyane, I admired you as a kid. I admire you now. We had the same exact dream, and we carry the same exact name, Dwyane Tyrone Wade. To know we hustled all the way to the Basketball Hall of Fame is God's will. So Pops, I know your knees are a little sore.
Once again, pausing it right here. This pretty much wraps up the speech. We'll kind of go through it. Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to go ahead and finish it off, but essentially he brings his pops out onto the stage and they celebrate together. And the best part is when they say, "We're in the Hall of Fame, dog." I know it's probably heresy to go ahead and not show that part, but to give the people who posted this video some views, hopefully, the 3 views that I'll get from this, go ahead, check out the link down below to finish that off. I don't know why, this speech just moved me so much, and the fact that he diverted all of the attention to his dad and the children and how he wanted to essentially use what his dad did with him as motivation for other people as well. Just not any kind of me attitude. And in a world where we're seeing all these people emphasize be your main character, I think somebody kind of bucking that trend who has seen that those levels of success kind of show a testament and lead by example in the fact that making others feel better, making others feel good, a lot of times can lead to better feeling for yourself, especially the people who are closest to you, the people who have a vested interest in who you are as a person. Being able to recognize that and call those people out and make them feel appreciated is an incredibly powerful feeling. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I really don't have too much more. I could go into a whole dissection of all the elements that make the video great and the emotional side, and there are quite a few more layers to dissect here, but that's not the meaning of this. The meaning was just to get the main point that, man, it feels good doing good things for other people. In a world where you see one person, like a billionaire, essentially get all the credit for thousands of people's work, let's say like a Elon Musk and a Tesla, or even like Mark Zuckerberg and a Meta. Yeah, those people do a fine job at steering the ship, but it's everybody, the encapsulation of the entire organization that make that company great. It's not one person. We put a lot of emphasis on the people who get the title as the people who made it happen, when in reality, none of this could ever happen. No great feat you've ever seen in life, in my opinion, was because of one person. Nobody's that much more special than anybody else. And hopefully, we start to see that emphasized a little bit more. And we start to look at the people who divert attention onto others for their successes as the people actually to follow. I don't know, that's all. That pretty much wraps it up. I'm gonna go conquer the world now and blame everybody else for that. And all jokes aside, go ahead and comment down below. Maybe something that made you feel good, an accomplishment that you achieved, and then go an extra layer and say what helped you get there. Those stories inspire me so much when somebody recognizes that other people help them. Otherwise than that wraps up the video. So really have no much more to talk about. I think I mentioned it earlier. I don't need to go into a full video essay with this, just pointing out something that was cool. Comment down below, like the video up, and if you like this type of content, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Later.